Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on Salem's Crafted Castle, and today we are revisiting a super fun kind of old technique that I am super in the mood to bring back. And it was kind of, I just gave you a little preview there, about maybe like 7 or 8 years ago, galaxy backgrounds were like all the rage. Everyone was doing them. A craft store that was near me at the time was like doing entire classes on how to do different galaxy background cards. Stamp companies were coming out with all kinds of like star themed stamp sets and things. Super popular, like you said, probably about 7 or 8 years ago. And right near the end of that trend, I kind of finally jumped on the bandwagon of it. And I didn't stick. So for me, it came and went pretty quickly. But I forgot how much fun these are to make. I've had this stamp set sitting around for a while, which is from Kindred Stamps, and I forgot to look up the name before I started the video, my bad. But these are very space-themed characters that happen to exist in the Marvel Universe. And I've had this stamp set for a while, kind of with the intention of eventually doing some kind of galaxy background with it. And I've seen sort of the, like everything old is new again kind of thing. I've seen a few people start to bring back the galaxy backgrounds, like very few people, but a few nonetheless. And I was like, wow, I really miss those. Those were fun, and I didn't really stick around for them very long. And I knew I had this stamp set, and it's been a while that I've had it, and I haven't used it yet, so I pulled it out and was like, we're gonna finally make this galaxy-themed birthday card. So I grabbed out my galaxy-themed stamp set, and I grabbed out my favorite galaxy color combination, and relived the glory days that were galaxy backgrounds. I have more ideas for more galaxy backgrounds. I have to find some of the old stamp sets I had with that sort of star themed. I suppose I don't technically need to do like star themed though for galaxy backgrounds. Like, they're just kind of cool anyway, no matter what you do with them. So, but look for more. I have a few ideas of other ways to do them. This one's very much like your classic, like, beginner galaxy background, just with some ink blending, that you're gonna see in a minute here. I left the coloring in for this video just because it's been a while since I've really like left the coloring portion in for a video, although I do have a bigger coloring video coming up sometime soon. I don't remember exactly when, but sometime in the next couple of months it's coming. But I left it in for this. I don't do anything super spectacular for the coloring, which is why I'm not really like talking about it, and I'm talking more about like the background technique that I'm not even showing you yet. But I just colored them really basic. I have a picture of all of them up on my phone, all of these characters. So I can talk about that, I guess, in coloring character stamps, because I do have quite a few of those. So I have a lot of these sort of pop culture character stamps in different forms. I mean, a couple weeks ago we did that Beauty and the Beast one where I had that Belle stamp. I have this stamp. I have other Marvel inspired stamp sets. I have other Disney inspired stamp sets. I have a few actually like Disney branded stamp sets as well, but I did the Harry Potter one over Christmas. And usually when I'm coloring, depending on the character, some characters I pretty much know the kind of color scheme of that character pretty well. I am actually, like, I'm a big Marvel fan, but if I had to pick a Marvel team up that's my least favorite, it would be Guardians of the Galaxy, which I know is super controversial because a lot of people really, really love Guardians. And the movies are fun, don't get me wrong, and by far they are always the best soundtracks in all of the MCU forever and ever. And I don't think that'll ever change, but they're not my favorite. I mean, I love Groot as much as the next person, because who doesn't love the Groot? But I'm just not a massive Guardians of the Galaxy fan. I would watch countless Iron Man and Captain America movies before I would, get excited over a Guardians movie. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for saying that. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I've watched well, actually no, that's not true. I haven't watched the third Guardians movie yet, but I've watched the first two a few times. But yeah, they're not my favorite team up in the MCU universe. I'm sorry. I should not really apologize for that, but I just feel bad because I know there are a lot of people very, very much enjoy them. But that's okay. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that these guys aren't characters that I know well enough to be able to just like pull their color schemes and their costumes out of my head. I even, like, when I looked up to color Gamora, I was like, oh, that was entirely different than the picture of her I had in my head. And to be honest, I didn't watch Guardians Volume 2 that long ago, so I'm kind of embarrassed. And I just watched Endgame and Infinity War, which they're also in, not that long ago as well. So I just really could not pull them out of my brain to really get their coloring, the correct colors for them. So I pulled up images. I just Googled. I know all their names. It's Drax, Peter, Groot, Rocket, and Gamora. And I just pulled up pictures of all of them. And they're not perfect. Like, Star-Lord's outfit's not exactly perfectly right. But, like, I had his outfit all wrong in my head, too. And I, like, pulled up the picture and I was like, whoa, 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 okay, this is not what I was expecting, but okay. So that's what the internet is for. I did kind of the same thing with Belle too, because there was some, I couldn't remember exactly how her dress was. I couldn't remember if, like, the ribbon details on it were a darker yellow or a lighter yellow. So, like, I looked that up too. And it ended up being a lighter yellow. But, like, that's what I do. I just Google the character and I look at the images that come up. And then that's how I get my color figured out. And like I said, I don't do anything super crazy with coloring these guys. It's pretty basic. I was also kind of filming this video really quickly, and I didn't have a ton of time to work on this one. So sometimes I take a little cheatsies there with the coloring, and that's not the best, but it all works out in the end. Especially for this one, because the characters end up being such a massive part of the card when it's done. I maybe should have taken a little bit more time with it, but it's all cool. It's fine. And plus, in this case, for the video, the coloring isn't the important part. The galaxy background is. So let's switch back to galaxy backgrounds. So I think I want to try to do 2 more galaxy videos because I have ideas of other ways to do galaxy backgrounds with a few other things that are in my craft room. So I just have to come up with, like, the design for them. Like, I know how I want to do the backgrounds, but I don't know, like, what design I want to do. And what stamps I want to use with it. And, like, do I want to do that? Do I want to just, like, have it be the background? Do I want to keep with a bit of a celestial theme? I don't really know. But I do want to revisit galaxy backgrounds. And I think this is the start of my campaign to bring them back. Because they are, really, honestly, galaxy backgrounds were, like, one of the things that kind of really got me into ink blending, because I thought they looked cool and they have so many fun colors in them, and you can really use any color you want in a galaxy background to make really cool things happen. I really should have maybe I need to just do, like, a galaxy background video where we don't actually make a final project and we just do a bunch of backgrounds. Would you guys like that? Let me know in the comments below. Like, seriously, would you guys be okay if I did a video that was just like, here's, like, a bunch of different ways to make galaxy backgrounds, and didn't, like, actually make a project at the end? Because I could be down for that. And, like, even different, like, color combinations, because I do a very sort of cool toned galaxy. Oh, here we go. It's background time. I do a very cool toned galaxy background here. As you can kind of see from my colors there. This is my go-to galaxy background color palette, and all the colors are listed in the description down below. But this was the galaxy background color combination that I basically cut my galaxy background teeth on. And that's why it's the Distress inks rather than the Gina K inks, because I didn't have the GNK inks I shouldn't say that. I had some, I didn't have all of them yet when the Galaxy backgrounds were popular. So, but I had 99.9% of the distress inks by that point, I think. So I had a lot more colors to choose from in the distress inks. And so I just kind of went with my, like, this is my classic Galaxy background. I generally will grab a blue, a pink, a purple, and then a darker blue and a black. And this is how you do it. It's so easy. You just randomly ink blend colors all over your panel, which is exactly what I'm doing. So this is a regular A2 size panel, so it's 5.25 by 5.5. No, it's not. It's 4.25 by 5.5. And I will cut it down later, but I keep panels that size pre-cut in my craft room, and it's really easy for me to just grab one and go from there. So that is why I use that size and then cut it down rather than like starting with the proper sized panel. So I am just taking the pink, the blue, and the purple, or I guess maybe a turquoise teal is a better word for that color, but and just sort of randomly blending it around. I'll usually pick one color to kind of be in the center, and then I'll do the other colors kind of randomly around it. So I picked the blue to go in the center this time, and then I used the pink and the purple randomly around it. So I like to tone everything after. So like you could skip this blue step that I'm doing right now with the darker blue and just go over it with black, and then, and you'd be fine. But I like to use the blue because to me it makes the transition into the black a little bit easier. It also helps, I don't know, it tones everything and makes it feel more Galaxy Night Sky-y to me if I add the darker blue in. And then we just use the black. So like with distress inks, you can kind of see through them a little bit until you get down to a really, really, really thick layer of color, and you can just do that by adding layers. But with Galaxy backgrounds, you kind of want some of that color to show through. So I don't do black all over. I could, because the color would still show through, but unless I went really, really dark. But I just kind of go black around the edges, and then I tend to leave the middle part not super covered in the darker colors, just because I like that middle part to sort of be the brightest, like, standout part. But I have to circle back to color choices. I'm heat embossing a greeting right now, and that's what's going on here. It's going to be a birthday card. But I wanted it to do the black on white heat embossing on black cardstock, because I thought that would stand out really nice and kind of like, not stand out really nice because the background's pretty dark, but like, I thought it would look good. It would kind of fit the vibe and the theme. But I wanted to talk about colors really quick. You don't have to use the sort of cool color palette that I used. You can absolutely use like reds, oranges, and yellows. And that's the really fun things about Galaxy backgrounds, is that you can really, really pick the vibes you're going for. If you wanted something brighter, you could do the red, yellow, and orange and get an entirely different look than I got from doing the pink, purple, and turquoise. You could go more of a blue. You could go more of a darker blue, and use a bunch of different blues. I could have used all purples. I like mixing in several colors when I can, because I think it makes it a little bit more interesting. But that's totally up to you. And then also we have to go back a little bit here because I missed talking about it. I also used a shimmer spray, a silver shimmer spray, to kind of make it look like stars. I've seen other people in the past have done it with like white paint, like white gouache paint that they water down a little bit. Seems to work really well, people. There's also, I know there are like white ink sprays you can get these days to use for that, but I liked the sparkle. I used a silver one, but I mean, you could totally use gold or sheer or whatever color you wanted to. I like the silver. I thought about using like the clear one. That was another thought in my brain, but the silver, you could see it a little bit better. The clear one is clear, and it kind of just looked weird. So I've cut out the greeting with a sentiment strip, and I'm just going to trim off the extra because I didn't have a sentiment strip die that was the right size, but I knew this would get me a lot more even looking edges than if I had tried to cut it myself, because I'm not good at that. Working on it slowly, lots of practice still needed, but we'll get there eventually. And honestly, guys, this card is almost done now. The coloring was by far the hardest part. The background, not difficult at all. Galaxy backgrounds are another one of those techniques, though, where if you are mass producing something, you kind of need to be aware that they probably will come out slightly different every time. This one looks different than the practice one I did, because I did a practice one just to make sure I still remembered how to do it, because I wasn't sure I did for a while. But I did. I remember how to do it. It was all good. And then, and like you said, I have other ideas. I think it would be really fun to try these with lunar paste. Or, not lunar paste, solar paste. Although lunar paste could be fun too, but I definitely see some potential in the solar paste. To do some fun galaxy type backgrounds. I was also thinking an alcohol ink kind of one could be fun if you could get it to work right, which I'd have to test that because I haven't tested it yet, but that was something I just thought of while I was editing the video. And after I cut it, you could really see the white from the paper underneath on the edges, and I didn't like that, so I just took my black set ink pad and rubbed it along the edges just to kind of hide the white because it stood out too much and I didn't like it. So that's a good tip anytime you cut paper, especially if it's white paper that you've like ink blended on and there's a color that you can use around the edges to kind of hide it. Sometimes it's very helpful. Kind of depends on the design you're looking for. Like, I didn't really want this to stand out, and it stood out a lot against the black. If you were layering like a rainbow piece on a white card base, you probably wouldn't even notice, and if you were layering it on like a red card base, you might even want it kind of, so that it stood out a little bit more. So it's all about vibes. But if you need those white edges to kind of disappear a little bit, just grab your ink pad and run your ink pad along the edge of them. It works out great. So I've put the whole little crew on this card, just like so, and there we go, and that's it. So just a fun little easy birthday card, and like I said, exploring galaxy backgrounds again, which I have decided I need to do more of, so keep an eye out for those. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you again soon, and have a crafty day.